Hello, this is David. Today we're going to take a look at the meditation style that I include with the kits that I make, whether it's the Chakra Healing Cards, the Pocket Chakra Kit, or just literature that I put out there. These are just ideas that I believe are helpful, and of course that's something I choose to share. So you'll notice at the beginning of every meditation, I'll use the term I invite. And so after that, you're going to look at the beings and the energy you want to bring into your meditation or prayer, whatever you want to call that. And so often when I'm creating literature that's to do with a specific chakra, I'll list those beings that are more likely to be associated with that chakra, although there's no limitation on that. Anything one that you reach out to, beings of love and light will always be there to provide assistance. But generally within your list, you're going to want to always ask for your guides as well. And if you have anyone special in your life that is, whether they're passed on or somebody you work with, you want to bring that in as well. Then, depending upon the actual meditation, I often recommend that you have an essential oil, an incense, something to help bring an aroma into your environment. And that also helps to open certain pathways so that you are more allowing, more willing. Same goes with having certain crystals in your possession at the time. The Chakra Healing Cards will show you, which crystals are best suited for that chakra. Although if you do research into them, many crystals go across multiple chakras, and so there's not like, you can't make a mistake. It's all fine. It's about your intention in the first place. And that is one thing I did want to bring up about chakras with respect to the crystals, the aromatherapy, and so forth. There's no magic, and so these are things just to help create focus for you. And so once you choose something, you don't have to be concerned whether it's the right thing, the wrong thing. You just allow it to help you open. And that's really the only point of having those things with you, is they're there to help you open and be willing. So the another part of the meditation would be to do certain chants. And so dependent upon, let's say I have one of the Chakra Healing Cards here, and for the heart, and it's suggesting that for the meditation that the vowel is AWW, pronounced like pa, like ah, and the mantra is YAM, Y-A-M. And so, and I have new cards coming out that also go into the note and the frequency, so that'll be available in the weeks or months to come. And then we also we get into our affirmations, whether they're provided on the cards or in the Pocket Chakra Kits or through other literature online. I always suggest to read the affirmations 3 times. And the reason for that is that often when we read something the first time, we're not really absorbing the thoughts behind it. We're reading words. And so the second time you absorb more, and I believe that by the third time you're actually understanding or embracing the feeling or the meaning behind the words, and you're more likely to believe it or allow it. And so that's where, and you could go more than 3 times, but I would suggest at least 3 times, because just reading something once often is just you're just going to digest words and not the actual meaning, behind the words. Now, one of the things that, and there was no desire for me to create any controversy, but I will recommend that you perform Reiki on yourself in those areas. Let's say it was your heart chakra, you know, you could perform your own Reiki. And the thing is when someone is being taught to be a Reiki master, there's a lot more involved with why they might go about doing things. They're going to be working with people, and they're going to want to make sure they know where to have the focus and attention. But it was never meant that for some reason healing of that kind is excluded from everybody, because Source did not create healing to have exclusive rights. Healing is there for all of us. And so you have that already. It's not even a right, it's just there. You have that capacity. So definitely be open to performing Reiki on yourself, even on other people. You know, if you did want to eventually do it more full-time or on a regular basis, then I would recommend you get the training so that you have a greater insight on all the things available through that type of activity. But it's not exclusive with respect to not being able to do it on yourself, you know, during a meditation. And that's one of the things would be when you're doing it, you may or may not feel something, and that means almost nothing. It's nice when you can feel something, because that helps with your belief. It's not necessary. Whether you're feeling something or not doesn't mean it's not there. However, in time, most people will start to feel the energy flow. And it is kind of an incredible thing, because it does validate that there's something going on. And so whether you feel it right away or not, in time you eventually will notice that moving of energy. What I tend to do, when I was taught Reiki, there was an MP3 song that had a bell every 3 minutes, and the idea was stay on a place, you know, and you hear that bell, you move on to the next place. That way you know you had enough there. And that was fine. Again, it's about learning, you know, to go through the process. But eventually what I realized was once I started to feel the energy, there was a point where I could feel where the energy starts to ebb away. And so then I know I'm done at that place at that time. It might be less than 3 minutes, it might be more than 3 minutes. And so after that point, I just started putting just any kind of background music, didn't have to have a bell or anything. And so the idea is if you can learn over time to feel the energy, you'll get a sense of when the healing is done at that time. And it doesn't mean it's healed. It means that whatever could be done at that time, that energy has dissipated into, have been absorbed, and you can move on to you know, whatever step is next. As we get to the end of the meditation, we're also going to want to look at releasing old energy, releasing old patterns, breaking off ties to associations and habits. And so it's really helpful to look at that and to be open for seeing that a lot of what we're experiencing today is based upon many unconscious decisions and choices and experiences we had in the past, affecting what we're saying today, what we're believing today, what we're able to even to perform, what we're able to accomplish today, based upon these little bits and pieces that are buried in our subconscious. So you want to include that aspect of where you allow yourself some quiet time and see if you could sense anything from your past that is directly conscious in your mind to let go, Other than that, you could just use some blanket statements that you release unhelpful experiences from the past, and things along that line. And so, and if something's important, you'll get some guidance on what to more specifically look at. But for the most part, you just want to always invite that idea in, that you're releasing the past. Another way of looking at this, because I'm a student of Course in Miracles, everything is, technically it's forgiveness. So you're forgiving how you saw yourself. You're forgiving what you may have done. And it's not about good or bad. It's about letting go. Forgiveness isn't about letting somebody get away with something or saying it's okay now. Forgiveness is just letting go. And so that's where you could then be in the moment now, because you're not carrying this baggage, from the past. And the final thing is, when I end a meditation, there's a thing now where I will have in there to say, I am thankful, and so it is. And to say that 3 times. And the meaning behind that is, I used to always just say thank you, and the concept there is that somehow there's something outside yourself that may or may not help you with this, or may or may not do this for you or with you. And the reality is that it is you. It's your openness, your willingness. Everything around you wants to help you. Everything around you is already there, just waiting for you to allow it, not to deserve it or to ask or beg for it, just to allow it. And so by saying, I am thankful, okay, you are allowing, you are accepting that this is you who is doing this. And you say, and so it is, which now puts it in concrete. You've accepted this. So I am thankful, and so it is. I am thankful, and so it is. And the 3rd time, I am thankful, and so it is. And you let that sit. You have some quiet time after that. If any thoughts come to your mind, if there's a message that somebody has for you, you might hear it in that time. And then you move on, and you go on with your day. All right, well, this concludes my little introduction on meditation. We'll get into some more details in some future videos. But for now, I just want to share some of the basics that come with some of the kits. And we'll see you next time. Namaste.